They say when you meet the love of your life, time stops, and that's true.
You're in love.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Cursing the heavens in futility.
You stupid boy, so shut up and leave me alone!
In this class, you can either call me Mr. Keating, or if you're slightly more daring, oh, Captain, my captain.
For the first time in my whole life, I know what I want to do.
I don't think writers are smarter than other people. I think they may be more compelling in their stupidity.
I was gonna have to use something he truly desired.
Hey you beautiful people, welcome back to a new video on our channel Read Travel Become. In this video, I'm going to recommend some feel-good movies, but you're gonna love these movies if you are a book lover. If you are even remotely interested in the idea of books, in the idea of literature, in the idea of stories, fiction, all of these things, you're going to love these movies because they are somehow related to books. These are gonna be amazing recommendations. If you have not watched these movies, you're missing out on a lot of really nice literature stuff out there on the screen. So make sure you watch the video till the end. You may never know which thought or fact may resonate with you and change the course of your life. So let's get started. The first movie on this list, it feels weird to say movie and not a book. The first movie on this list is Big Fish by Tim Burton. It's a 2003 movie. This movie is basically about the relationship between a son and his father. They have a troubled relationship growing up. The child is frustrated that his father is basically a storyteller. Wherever his father goes, he tells just these grand stories of his life. The son just thinks that this is like a smoke screen and there is like reality behind the smoke screen is very different for his dad. But he never understands why his dad is telling all of these stories. To know that, you must watch this movie. You would absolutely love the concept of storytelling if you see this movie. Someone who loves fiction books, you would absolutely get what I'm saying when you see the end part of the movie where the whole story culminates into one particular thought. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. You have to watch it out for yourself. First movie is Big Fish. Absolutely feel good movie. It'll also make you cry in the end. The next movie on the list is You've Got Mail, which is a Tom Hanks movie. It's basically a rom-com. It's a romantic comedy movie about two characters, a girl and a guy. The girl is an independent bookstore owner and the guy is a hotshot businessman who wants to open these mega chains of bookstores. He wants to build franchisee bookstores, mostly like Barnes and Noble, all these big chains of bookstores. So it's basically love blossoming between two competing ideas of independent bookstore and a retail chain store. It's just a beautiful love story, very simple, but it's based around books. There are some bookish references. There is a lot of Jane Austen being talked about by the central characters. It's just a very nice ode to literature, and because there is a setting of a bookish place, there is the independent bookstore, there are libraries and a lot of conversation around books, and because of all of this, you are bound to love this movie. It's a delight to watch Tom Hanks on screen for me every time. Next on the list is, I think, one of my favorite movies on this particular list. I remember I was totally into books. I was this literature fanatic guy, just talking books, sharing books, all these sort of things, and I came across this particular movie and I was even more impressed and even more attracted to the world of classical literature. The movie I'm talking about is Midnight in Paris, which has got a very quirky plot, a very interesting plot. In this movie, this guy who considers himself like an old school guy, he just loves the golden era of the past where there were classical writers like Great Gatsby came out, Hemingway was there, all of these, Salvador Dali, Picasso, all these paintings. He just loves that era. And somehow every night in Paris, he gets a chance to time travel back into the past and he meets all of these characters. He meets all of his favorite writers, his favorite painters. He himself is a troubled author who wants to complete a novel. The concept of this book is amazing. Execution is even better. I love the acting of all the characters. Everything about this movie is a bundle of joy to watch, especially if you are a book lover. So do not miss out on Midnight in Paris. I'm damn sure once you watch it after watching this video, you would let me know in the comment section how much you like this movie. So don't miss out. Midnight in Paris is a must watch if you love books. Next on the list is a blockbuster movie. Almost everybody knows about this iconic movie about poetry, about literature. The movie I'm talking about is Dead Poets Society, one of my favorite movies of all time, which stars Robin Williams. The movie is about a particular boys' school, how the boys are being trained to compete in the world, compete or die kind of a mentality, and just randomly one day a new teacher comes up full of life who teaches them about the power of poetry, the power of literature. These students form their own club called the Dead Poets Society, and you must have known about this, but I just wanted to recommend it here because it's just a befitting ode to poetry, to words, the power of words, the simplicity of words, just the impact of words, right? Whenever I watch this movie, I feel like reading more and more poetry. Although I don't read a lot of poetry, but I love the whole concept of, using words to convey complex emotions. Books, I feel, are one of mankind's greatest inventions. It's no less than magic, because just think about it. You are looking at a book, you are reading something, you are listening to someone who's probably dead for so many years, but still that person is directly talking to you. You both are talking to each other without even moving your lips. You are communicating with each other, you are exchanging ideas, you are being inspired by that person who's no more. You are time traveling, you are reading about some things which happened in the past, but you are recollecting all of those events so vividly, which is no less than magic, I feel. So this movie retains that magic of words, of poetry. So yeah, Dead Poet Society, absolute classic. Next on the list is a movie called Stranger Than Fiction. This has a very unique concept. The plot of the movie is very unique. There is a guy who one day starts hearing a voice. It seems like somebody is narrating his life, just like a character who is in a novel, right? Somebody is writing that character. In the same way, this person feels that somebody is narrating all of his life. Whatever is happening in his life is being narrated to him. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's a quirky plot. If you have read books, if you have especially read Kurt Vonnegut, you would absolutely resonate with the plot of the book, of how quirky it is. Give it a try. It's a very, very unique plot. I wouldn't say you would love it or anything, but it's a great ode to literature. It's a great ode to books. And the last movie that you can watch if you are a book lover is End of Tour, which is basically an A24 movie. This movie is basically a road movie, a sort of conversation talk movie where just two people are talking to each other, discussing life, discussing philosophy. One of the guys is a journalist and the other guy is David Foster Wallace, who is the writer of Infinite Jest. There's a character who's playing that author. He's not the exact author in the movie, but there's a character who's playing the role of David. He has written one of the most complex novels of all time called Infinite Jest, which is being talked about in this movie also, about how can someone write such a complex novel. It's a long ass novel, a lot of complex ideas, and the movie is just about a deeply philosophical, deeply existential writer talking to a journalist, the journalist also having his own demons to fight with, and how these two just bond with each other, just talk on a road trip. That sort of a feel-good narrative kind of a movie. It's a road movie. There's no complex like turning point or central conflict in this movie, but it's a very light, breezy kind of a movie which you can give a try if you have heard about David Foster Wallace, one of the greatest writers. If you want to know more about his life, how he was as a person, definitely check out this movie. You will like it. So that's all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video till here. I tried this new concept of recommending movies this time because apart from books, I also love a lot of movies. Let me know if you like this. We can talk more about my personal favorite movies, and more recommendations would be coming soon. So yeah, that's all for this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.